So I promised you an update on my legally questionable 2 terabyte hard drive that I purchased. So that's tonight's show. And I'm a person that's not going to be named for this show. And joining me, as always,
I am Dr. Mike, Artificial Pagan on everything. For the soda cucks and ginger curious, Seagram's ginger ale tonight. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment for your favorite kind of ginger ale. But if it's not Seagram's, you're wrong. And while you're doing that, why don't you buy some merch? You'd look really good in one of our t-shirts. And while you're wearing that t-shirt, free with your free subscription to Bog Panda is Hard No, the world's shortest podcast. It's a grower, not a shower. You can knock out at least 100 episodes of it just in the time it'll take you to write out your hate comments.
yeah. And if you watch Hard No 7 days in a row, the seventh day is free, as were the previous six. So there you go. Pretty good deal. Yeah. So probably a quick one tonight, but we did want to follow up. We had done a show where we had talked about this 2 terabyte hard drive that had all sorts of games on it, up to PS4, which mostly ended up being PC ports of PS4 games, but that's the way it goes. A Nintendo Switch, Wii, Windows games, as well as the usual suspects, all running Launchbox. And as the framework, Launchbox was the framework for the hard drive. And so I've had it for a while. Had a chance to use it. And I wanted to kind of give Mike an update as he continues to look. Now he's like the artisan he is. He's handcrafting his own hard drive with
True.
emulators and games. So this may be redundant for him. There you go. And but I did want to talk about it. First, the price is pretty great. It's $130 to get this. I was not familiar with Launchbox. I hadn't really used anything that had utilized Launchbox. There's actually kind of two versions of Launchbox. There's Launchbox. Well, there's a free version and a premium version of Launchbox. And in the premium version, in addition to Launchbox, you get Big Box, which is more of a TV oriented interface. So you could basically do everything with your controller. Whereas the Launchbox interface, there's some mouse work and moving back and forth and all that to kind of fire games up and all that. So you can get it to more of a kind of a retro gaming console on that. But you need to drop $30 for a license to go to premium. And that you can use in perpetuity, which will include Big Box as well at that point. But as you come up on your first year, you gotta fork over some more dough to continue to get updates from there. So you can also kind of one-time deal, pay to get an infinite license, if you will, forever. So some unexpected costs. I really kind of would like Big Box because I mostly want to play this on my projector, which I can have the laptop there and all that, but it'd be nice to be able to use the controller. I'm actually pretty impressed with the controller. I like it quite a bit. It seems to work better than an Xbox One controller with it, although it's still dicey in terms of mapping. I've been trying to play Doom 64 on it, and I'm still struggling to get all my mappings consistent. Probably my other big grumble is that with Launchbox, there's no that interface doesn't build in save states. So you have to kind of know per emulator what the save states are. So the first couple of times I was doing it, I was getting into Quake 64, but there was no save options in Quake 64 for me to save any sort of progress slow that I was making in Doom 64. But I eventually learned RetroArch was going on in the background, and so I got the function keys down, be able to save it so that as opposed to restarting it, which for things like, I don't know, Animal Crossing or Doom 64. No save state, no bueno. So uh, some a pretty good game selection, although oddly enough, unlike Mike's magical hard drive that he's building, it offers 3DO games as selections, but I can't get them to fire up. I got to go in, I think, and dig in a little bit more to the emulators and all that. And then weirdly enough, PlayStation 2 and 3 and 4 all work fine, but PlayStation 1, original PlayStation, can't get those games to fire up either.
Hmm.
So little spotty on not exactly a plug and play, some funkiness with Launchbox. Um, so Mike, are you going to continue to just kind of craft your own multi-game hard drive environment, or are you going to look at some point to pick up something like this?
Probably both. I think for right now, this is working really well for me because I was able to put Big P on there to get the Jaguar games, which is really what I was looking for, was a good Jaguar emulator. And that's what they used. That's actually the same emulator they used for the Atari 50th anniversary collection, which of course we were both big fans of. And everything plays great on it. I had a weird issue, and I think it was just the ROM that I had with one game, but I was able to find another ROM. It plays fine. Every game on there plays great. I got 4DO, the 3DO emulator, and there's only one game so far that hasn't worked on there.
That's good. Yeah, there's other. We'll probably do a show on at some point. Ken Hank has a all-in-one PC hard drive combo that brings a lot. Oh, by the way, this setup here, the manufacturer is across your screen right now, and I'm not even going to try and say it. It's that, but we'll include a link to the to Amazon if you want to take a bit better look at it. But there's also a very interesting Ken Hank all-in-one PC and gaming thing, and then there's a another Super Console X variant that they kind of advertise as plug and play. They call it a game console, but you've got to plug it into a PC. You've got to do some things to make sure it boots. So you got to go into your BIOS to make sure you can make the choice to boot off of that hard drive, which is not very plug and play like. And then from what I understand, they give you a license for Launchbox, but it's like the one license they got, and they just seem to be applying it across all the systems. So they're farming it out to say, "Oh yeah, you're a Launchbox premium member," but I'm a little suspect because it's all kind of underneath one license, which I'm pretty sure is not kosher. And I think the first time you try and do an update, you'll probably have some issues. But yeah, I don't know. We've been finding a lot of good emulators. It's been good we've had good luck with 4DO. Dolphin I've played with a little bit. The Jaguar emulators worked out pretty well. So those are all nice too. It was there's a good cross section of the 4,000 plus games that are on the hard drive that I got. But I was actually really disappointed because I just assumed that I was going to be surrounded by Doom, that I was going to be getting Doom 3, Ultimate Doom, all that good stuff. But the only Doom on this hard drive is Nintendo 64 Doom. So not even a port. There's no port of good old Doom. And so that was probably the biggest disappointment to me, because I was with Mike and I've been doing a lot of Doom stuff lately. I thought, oh, this is great, because I wanted to don't have a lot of experience with the later versions. I wanted to kind of enjoy those a little bit, but I'll have to find another way. Like maybe buy them on Steam.
Well, Doom 64 on Steam, I believe, is only like $5, and it has all the extra content added to it. So I do highly recommend that for anybody watching this. That's how I've been playing it, the Steam version. And it's great. I really enjoy that game. I kind of, I guess, missed the boat on it the first time around. I remember playing it a little bit, but just never really had a lot of hands-on experience with it.
Yeah, and for the life of me, because the 64 was kind of play console prime in the household for a pretty long period of time, and I've got a pretty good collection of cartridges for the Nintendo 64. Uh, how I didn't pick up Doom, I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but which is devastating. So I kind of missed it as well. So we'd be interested if you want to share in the comments where you're kind of going on some of these um, big load, couple terabyte hard drives with an interface that come in and you can do some things that way. Are you doing more the Dr. Blinsky build your own way? How do you want to go about ongoing retro gaming? And, I had gone in originally thinking, boy, I get this hard drive working. I'm probably going to be able to retire my Super Console X. That's really not going to be the case. so I'm going to have to continue to have a kind of a big array of different systems, but including my OG 2600. So, but that's okay. Anything else you want to say about the wonderful world of hard drive gaming?
No, I'm just curious to see, as it progresses for you, what your experience is like with it.
Yeah, the controller, I mean, so far, best points to the controller, good cross-section of game selections. A little disappointed that I have two major platforms that I have work to do to get up and running, but we'll set that aside. The Launchbox premium side did not get big boxed. It's a bit irritating. I appreciate them not giving me big box under one license. I just so that part's okay, but it's like I'd really like a projector friendly interface to not have to do any kind of keyboarding per se. And then depending, I can't be too quick on the trigger to say, this environment isn't working, because the load times for some of these bad boys vary, but sometimes are pretty significant, or enough that you're starting to wonder if it worked or not. then eventually it does. But yeah, I'll keep you posted in the Panda Army, as well as we continue to play with the wonderful 2 terabyte hard drive provided by these guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bog Panda.